As you can see, I haven't yet made much progress in decluttering my shack, but I have for some time been practicing a little of what I preach in keeping order and organization. I want to spend a few minutes with you showing you how I try to manage multiple projects in various stages of completion. Here you see some closely spaced shelves I've tucked into a closet, and you see the cheap disposable aluminum pans I use to keep project materials in. Well, let me show you a few of these trays. You get some idea how I use them. Notice I took the time. I'm sort of obsessive about this sort of thing. Took some time to make a neat little label here. The Nescafe QRP Club New England on their little logo. I don't know. I had nothing better to do that day, I guess. But you see that that this tray here, roasting pan, has everything for the project. Here are various miscellaneous components, including a ugly construction method, a board I've got here, some other parts, some things that I bought for the project, and then you notice in the bottom of I've got the documentation for it all, and you see here I scrounged. I don't know where I came up with that. I'm going to put a new plastic panel on the front there and use that for the Nescafe. But here's a tray for the PHSNA, otherwise known as the Poor Ham's Scalar Network Analyzer, a project that you'll see on the web online. I bought boards for it when they were available, a couple of sets here I think, or different versions. I have to look at the documentation to figure out what those are all about. And you notice that that's all I've got in there. I've got the boards, but I'll get to that sometime. And then down below here I've got this tray for the 8640 Junior signal source that was designed by W7ZOI, and similar kind of thing here with components in place. Maybe I should readjust that camera a little bit here, but I started to gather components, and I made these little cards here, these little sheets with the bill of materials, and then started to, in fact, tape some of the components on there. And then again, there's documentation down here, bottom, for the project. So these have served me very well, keeping everything all together. Let's see, this one down here is an antenna project, PVC fittings, and probably recognize what that is. A tape measure. I'm going to make a tape measure antenna, 2 meters, for portable use. But you see that this is useful in keeping everything for a project, including paperwork, documents, components, etc., all nice and tidy, all together. And at whatever stage I'm in, then I'll just go grab that tray. When I get parts, I order parts in. They go right in the tray. They don't lay around on the bench somewhere, or at least not for long. So I just thought I'd show you that, and how valuable that's been for me, because I like to keep a lot of projects going. I know that I shouldn't. I really should have better discipline and work on one project at a time until it's done, but, well, I don't think I'm the only one who gets bored with a project after a while, and so I like to have several going that I sort of, and eventually something comes off the end of all that. It cycles around, and then something's completed spins off. Here's a method I've been starting to employ. I don't know whether I like it or not compared to the aluminum, cheap aluminum pans, excuse me. But these are just cheap dollar store storage boxes, and I'm using them in exactly the same way. I have the documentation for the project that I'm working on here. Everything goes down in there. Notes I might be making, believe it or not, those are some notes that are, I think I also made some notes on some QSOs that I made, but there are some other notes there too. Oh, I guess on the back is a pattern that I made for the PC board. This project is interesting. It's an analyzer, antenna analyzer, that was designed by, let's see, it's VK5 JST, and he prepared this nice printed circuit board, and there's several hundred of these apparently that have been made, and I'm still working on this one. I have a LED readout there that you see, and front panel here that it'll eventually, you know, go together. Other parts for that. The some electronic components for it you see down here in the tray. I like using sardine cans to hold smaller parts, keep them sort of separate. They're ideal if you're taking something apart, because if I don't put them right in a tray or a little can or something like that, then I lose the screws and all that sort of thing. But so this is a method that I'm sort of trying to see how I like it compared to the aluminum tray. One thing about this is that it you know, it keeps dust out, and it sometimes happens that some of these projects stay on my shelves long enough to collect dust, and so, you know, I think this project's over a year old. But anyway, just one more way in which I try desperately to manage my my projects.